holler. And then we saddle up, get your money right. Then you add it up. We grab the bull by the horns, make a bag it up. We holler. And then we saddle up.
You thought your boy Cold Boy was just a country clown. The bells hay all day and don't know how to get down. Ain't none of y'all messing with this country sound. Them boys sent me with some new country. We ride Fords and lift kids with gun rags and mud on them. Ain't scared of nothing, so don't push the button like the...
All right, howdy partners. Welcome one and all to Saddle Up. This is episode number 1. We're presented to you by the good people over at The Horror Returns. I am Longhorn Lance. We got Wild Phil. Got Bad Brian over here in the house. And we got our 2 regulars who are going to be spearheading the show. You folks are going to get to know them real well. We've got, first of all, Gene the Singing Cowboy.
Hello, y'all.
And where would we be without Cactus J?
Boy, what you looking at?
So this is a new podcast. We kind of got together. We noticed that there were a lot of horror podcasts out there, like a lot. Fair amount of podcasts for other types of just mainstream movies, superhero stuff, things like that. But we don't see a lot of podcasts out there for the good old Western, and they seem to be making a little bit of a comeback lately. So we thought it might be a good idea to kind of test the waters, see how this thing goes over, if you guys like it or not. If you do, please let us know. If you don't, please let us know and give us feedback. For now, just reach us through the Horror Returns group like you do with a regular podcast, and we'll definitely take everything you say into consideration. So you know myself, Phil and Brian, obviously, but let's get to know the new guys a little bit here. Start out with Gene the Singing Cowboy. Gene, what got you into westerns, man? What are your favorite westerns, and when did you start enjoying this genre?
Okay, what got me into him is my dad. My dad was a huge John Wayne fan. According to him, he was the man, John Wayne. So I would watch a lot of the old westerns with my dad. Probably my favorite older westerns would be like The Cowboys or True Grit, the original True Grit. And I also remember watching a TV series years ago with my dad called The High Chaparral when I was a little kid. We used to watch that every week. And as far as new Western movies, I loved Open Range, Tombstone. There's a lot of them. Appaloosa's also a very good Western.
Cactus J, what's your story?
Well, I think what I'm going to do, and I think a lot of people are going to kind of mirror what Gene said, is they all start with their father. My dad was a big John Wayne fan as well, John Ford. So we watched a lot of those. The Searchers is probably a big one for me when I was younger. Shows was High Chaparral and probably Bonanza. Bonanza was huge in our family. And being my dad and my brothers watching that, my one brother watching that. So that was kind of the big influence for me. And as far as the older ones, you got the Clint Eastwoods, you got the John Wayne movies, and the newer ones, I would go True Grit, Open Range, Appaloosa. He named another one. There's a lot more good Western movies, I think, out in the last 20 years than I think a lot of people give more credit for.
Well, cool. Yeah, and we're going to explore a lot of those. So what we're going to try to do here, folks, is right now we're planning on a monthly show. That could very well change. It could go every other week. It may go every week. Just depends on, what our reception is here and what you guys think. So, again, give us your feedback. Let us know what's going on. And now we're going to get on with the show. We're going to start out with Gene. You're going to bring us a trailer roundup, aren't you?
Sure. The first trailer we're going to talk about today is The Sisters Brothers. It's a 2018 Western dark comedy. It's directed by, and I hope I don't butcher this, Jacques Audiard, from a screenplay he co-wrote with Thomas Bittigan, based on the novel of the same name by Patrick DeWitt. The film has in it John C. Reilly and Joaquin Phoenix as the 2 notorious assassin brothers, Eli and Charlie Sisters. Together they get caught up in the California gold rush. And it had its world premiere, it says here, at the Venice Film Festival on September 2nd, 2018. It's scheduled to be released on the 21st of September.
That's right around the corner then.
Yeah, it's coming up. Well, that's today.
Yeah, all right. Well, I saw this trailer in front of a movie a couple of weeks ago. Jay, what do you think about it, man?
This looks fun. I mean, I was watching that, and it looked like there's a lot of comedy in it, and it looked like these guys are having fun. I think I'm going to have a blast with this. I am absolutely looking forward to this. I like westerns to be that slow drawl, that really, character-driven one, and then sometimes you like those fun ones. You got Tombstone, that's a big favorite, and this one just looks like a fun movie. I'm looking forward to this. It's got a lot of names in it too, a lot of serious actor names in it.
Right.
I'm definitely looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really good to me too. I think, like he said, it looks like it's going to have some really funny parts, but it also looks like it might be pretty serious in a few spots too.
Right.
I really like both. All three. I didn't mention Jake Gyllenhaal, but I like all three of the actors in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, they're loaded for bear with the talent. Phil, you looking forward to this one?
Yeah, dude, you put John C. Reilly in a movie, and I am on it.
Yep.
Joaquin Phoenix is another one, too. Jake Gyllenhaal is I want to say he's hit or miss, but, man, he's really good. A lot of the stuff he's come out with has been pretty badass. So I can't say that I'm not excited about this. If Westerns were dead, they're not. They're still coming out, and they're awesome.
Brian?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. I just want to see the interactions between John C. Reilly and Joaquin Phoenix. And looking at the cast list, Rutger Hauer's in this movie too.
Oh, I didn't see that.
That's a blast from the past.
Yeah.
It looks like a lot of fun.
And the John C. Reilly, and it looks like they got that buddy cop kind of mentality that you've known from other movies.
Right.
I'm really looking forward to like Brian said, the interaction between the two. It looks fun. That's my big word for this movie. It looks like so much fun, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, I mean,
that guy, he's just proved himself over and over again. John C. Reilly, I'll see anything that he's in.
Yeah, Step Brothers. It's not a Western, but that is amazing. He was awesome in that movie.
Right.
It's a classic movie.
Yep, he could definitely handle comedy or drama for sure.
Yep.
All right, so it sounds like this is on everybody's list then.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got for us, Gene?
Okay, we also have A Woman Walks Ahead. And this is a 2017 American biographical drama. It's directed by Susanna White and written by Stephen Knight. It stars Jessica Chastain. It's based on a true story about a portrait painter who traveled from New York to Dakota to paint a portrait of Chief Sitting Bull.
Wow.
And it looks really, really cool. And the guy that's playing the part of Sitting Bull, his name is Michael Greyeyes.
Yes, I've heard of him.
And yes, and it takes place in 1890. Sam Rockwell is also in the trailer, and he looks...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he looked really, really good in this movie.
Another one of my favorites.
Yes.
Absolutely. I don't. There's not a role that Sam Rockwell has done that I don't like. I even liked him in the original Ninja Turtles. So yeah, there's.
Was he in the original Ninja Turtles?
I guess he was.
He was one of the teenagers. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in there for like 5 minutes.
Nice remake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. That guy.
And there's that trivia for the fans. How many Western podcasts does it take to get a Ninja Turtles drop? The answer's one.
One.
That was quick.
Zaphod Beeblebrox, huh? We'll throw a little sci-fi in there.
There you go. Hitchhiker's Guide. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, looks like this is available at all your regular streaming sources. I see it on iTunes. I see it on Amazon.
Yeah, it said it was released in a limited release on June 29th, 2018. So it's been out for a while. Yeah, I'm sure it's able to rent on Amazon or any of those places.
Looked like it had kind of a spiritual angle to it. Did you guys catch that vibe? Like when she went and met with Sitting Bull and the tribe and everything, it looked like there was going to be a little bit of a spiritual journey there.
Yeah, I kind of got that too. I think Sitting Bull was a pretty spiritual person.
Like
Definitely,
Dancing with
yeah.
Wolves, but with the kids.
Yeah, you're gonna kind of get where she's brought into the world to probably get the bigger, better understanding of who they are and you know what their culture is. I think this one looks like where the Sisters Brothers looks like fun. This looks like that serious movie that that's
Yes.
going to be there, and you're going to be all focused into it, and you're going to get the good performances. You're going to get some from Sam Rockwell. You're going to get for Jessica Chastain, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this Michael Gray Eyes does as well.
Awesome. All right. So that's on everybody's list too.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, 2 for 2, looking good.
All right, so a couple of movies that look worth watching, and now we're gonna come to that little part where we go walk down past. Gotta walk past the whorehouse, make a left at the bar, just past the hardware store, and we've come across the Post, and they got a printing press going. What's going on at the Post, Jay?
Well, you all know who Aaron Paul is, and if you don't know, then you need to go out and watch some Breaking Bad because he's Jesse Pinkman in AMC's Breaking Bad. Now, he's been officially joined the cast of HBO's high-profile sci-fi show, The Westworld, for its 3rd season. Now, if some of you have dropped off of Westworld and you're going to ask Aaron Paul about that, he's going to say, yeah, whatever.
That's right.
While the producers aren't saying anything about what he's doing in the role, he's going to be a new series regular, which I think is going to bring on some more viewers. Because I think I know he's probably done a couple movies since Breaking Bad, but I'm sure everybody's looking to see what this kid's going to do next. And if he's did such a great job of Breaking Bad, people are going to be on board to see what he's going to be doing next. Me personally, because he's getting back in the show, I think we're going to go back into it. I stopped at season 1, never got back into season 2, but I may do just a catch up so I'm caught up when season 3 starts. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it now. See, when you get people like that actor, if you drop off shows and you get something like that hooks you back in, you got me on that one, so I'm sold.
Right. What do you think, Gene?
You're talking about Breaking Bad?
Westworld.
Or about Westworld. I've never watched any of Westworld.
Oh,
I haven't seen any of it. Yeah, isn't it on Showtime?
HBO.
Or HBO? Yeah, we don't have any of that, so I haven't watched it. But so
I've seen it all so far. Season 1 I really enjoyed. Season 2, guys, totally fucking lost me.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, so many storylines and so many time jumps, and it's not like a Tarantino time jump where it makes sense. It's more like time. Yeah, right, Phil. Time jumps for the sake of trying to keep you off your feet.
Yeah, that's exactly why they do them, and it's very surreal. The whole second one, it gets really like theoretical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they did a time jump. I mean, it worked pretty good for the first season because there really wasn't a lot. I think there was just 1 or 2, right? We just kept flipping back, and I think halfway through, I think everybody pretty much caught on. And I haven't seen season 2, but I'm thinking maybe that's why they're having so many, just to, like you said, keep you off your game. So keep you guessing until the end. Yeah, I don't know.
Keep it simple, stupid.
I may have to check Amazon Prime to see if I can get Westworld on there. I might be able to because they do have it where you can get the free trials to the different channels. Maybe they got a free trial for HBO or something for a week.
Yeah, and you got like Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up. So when you do that, you tend to get like places like Target and all that. They'll get like season shows. You can get the whole season on DVD and Blu-ray for like $20 or something like that. So the first season might be worth just grabbing it and digging into it. So it's not bad. I mean, you're going to pay $20, $30 on the whole season instead of paying for all of HBO just to get it. So, it might work out.
But I'd be interested in seeing it because I love the movie. Mm-hmm. I remember seeing that when I was really young, and I loved that movie, so I'd like to see what they did with the series.
The show, the first season at least, is 100 times better. Yeah, that's big words, but this is a badass show. I love the first season.
Mm-hmm.
I worry, though, that it's kind of doing the same thing that Hannibal did, where it got a little too, cerebral. And by the third season, everybody was like, "Oh, okay, you lost me. I'm out." I'm hoping they don't continue in that route. Maybe they'll get a little more interesting as it goes, because they've got a really cool concept on their hands. And Anthony Hopkins, man.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, yeah, he's the man.
Yeah,
but and we can't say too much because we don't want to spoil anything, right?
Yeah. Watch the first season. Dear Lord, watch it. It is amazing. One of the best shows I've ever seen.
Brian, did you ever get into it? I can't remember if you did or not.
I watched the first season.
Okay.
I haven't seen the second season. I kind of put it on the back burner, and then I kind of ended up hearing kind of mixed things about it, so I just never got to it. But for Aaron Paul, I'll probably jump back into it.
You think so? Is he that?
Yeah.
Oh, is he that big of a name?
I wouldn't say he's a big name, but what he ended up doing, because everybody needs to remember, like, his character on Breaking Bad was supposed to be killed off in the first season.
True.
And what he did on that show, they extended it throughout the entire show, and series. I mean, so I thought he was like fantastic on there.
The Chris Pratt of serious shit.
Yeah.
He was supposed to get killed off in the first season of Parks and Rec.
Was he?
Really?
No.
Yeah.
They kill people off in sitcoms?
Well, not kill him off, but he was not supposed to be in the rest of the show, and everybody liked him so much they just left him there.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
that's crazy.
Start of Star-Lord.
All right. Well, this next story, Jay, I know it means a lot to you, man.
It does. It does. This is exciting. So I'm pulling this off the printing press, and I'm gonna frame it on my wall. So after years of speculation, the Deadwood movie from the HBO series Deadwood has been confirmed. The series will return 11 years after it ended. It was a 3-season run. The news was confirmed at the annual Television Critics Association conference by HBO's president, and we all know who that is, Casey Ploys, right? I know you know.
Sure,
Gene.
household name.
Oh yeah.
Household name.
Like
Yeah, I think I got his jersey. Jersey.
Billy gets fired next year for sexual harassment.
Yeah, he will.
Probably.
If he hasn't already.
He's going to say cocksucker in a board meeting, right?
And anybody knows anything about
half-ass
Deadwood?
puff on a joint, and everybody's up his ass. So.
No shit.
And if anybody knows anybody about Deadwood, that goes in tandem with the word cocksucker.
Right.
By the way, kids, this is a rated R podcast.
Yeah, and I just wanted to mention that's actually my favorite swear word ever.
Yeah?
I love. yeah, because it just says just what it just puts it right out there.
Right.
I think I'm a fan of motherfuckers, mostly because
Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah, he did a lot for that word, but
yeah, he did. I mean, it made it on a wallet. Come on.
I'm with Gene on this one though. That's like the perfect swear word.
Because it's double meaning. It's a swear word, but yet every guy wants it. See,
right?
it's the yin and yang.
And nobody wants to do it.
I was going to make sure that we could cuss because I don't know if I've done it yet. It's very possible, but it will definitely happen before the show's over.
I thought you were a little quiet.
I was unsure.
So we're back to Deadwood. They're eyeing to start production as early as October this year and hopefully having it aired in spring of 2019. I don't know if everybody is coming back. I got my fingers crossed, toes crossed, everything's crossed, knocking on every kind of wood, live wood, dead wood, you know it. Hoping that everybody comes back, but I am so looking forward to this movie. Definitely gonna have to watch the series a couple of times before this movie comes out, but if you haven't seen Deadwood, hit pause because we'll be here when you get back and go out and watch Deadwood and then come back and finish the show. All 3 seasons.
Well,
it abruptly ended, which was unfortunate.
We know Powers Booth obviously sadly won't be back. I would bet you $1 million fucking Jeffrey Jones won't be back either. After his allegations and shit. Actually, isn't he in prison or something?
He may have done time and may be out of it. I don't know.
Right.
I think I heard the same thing, that he may have gotten jail time. And I don't even know if he's still in or out, or if he ever actually went, or maybe house arrest. Who knows?
And who's this Jeffrey Jones?
The principal from Ferris Bueller.
Okay, yeah. Wasn't he a child molester or something?
That's what the allegations were, and he was the dad of Beetlejuice.
Oh, he totally looks like a child molester. Wow. Man, that is...
Judge it, book by its cover, man.
Well, I did hear that he had, there was allegations of, child porn or something.
Right.
That makes
100%
sense.
So doubt he will be back. But as long as they got Timmy Oliphant and they got cocksucking Swearingen,
right?
I'm in. I don't think I've ever said Swearingen without cocksucker being in front of it.
Right.
I just did. Damn it, broke my own rule.
Well, shit. I think they've gone. It feels like 3 years since American Gods has been on, huh?
Oh wow. Oh gosh. And, I just heard they're having production problems.
Showrunner problems, all kinds of problems.
Showrunner and all that shit. Yeah.
Right.
Fucking cocksucker. Oh.
And our next bit of news is shamefully something I have not gotten into, but it is definitely on my list. Is Paramount Network has renewed Yellowstone for a 10-episode second season. Now, overall, Yellowstone was the most watched series on cable this summer and second most watched drama of 2018 on ad-supported cable, behind The Walking Dead. And that's according to the network and Nielsen ratings.
No shit. It was second rated after Walking Dead?
After Walking Dead. No, watched. Not rated. Not rated. Watched.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, watched. Yeah. So, you still got a ton of people watching Walking Dead. Why? I don't know. That's my opinion. But with Kevin Costner back in the Western, and I'm just shocked that I haven't got into this yet. So
that one.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's a good show. I've seen every episode.
Yeah, and it's modern. Is it current now? Is it current time or it's?
Yeah, it's modern day. Okay. Current timeline.
Okay. Yeah. I wasn't sure if it was like 80s or 90s or whatever.
And if you missed the episodes, if you missed the episodes or anything, and you have a Roku, they have a Paramount channel. I think you can watch pretty much all the seasons on there. I'm not sure.
Oh, good.
Oh,
I think so.
Hey, Lance, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I have the Paramount channel on my Roku, and I did see that on there.
Nice. What were you saying, Jay?
Well, remember the hotel room we stayed in Chicago? That had Roku. So next year we're gonna have to binge Yellowstone when we get there.
Yeah, I've got Roku at home. Like a lot of these TVs, I think it's the TCL brand TVs. They come with Roku in them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you've got that, Gene?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, they're really nice little TVs, and they're not that expensive. They're like, 75% the price of all the other brands.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're way cheap.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I got to give that a shot.
Picture. Real happy with it. So, I strongly advise it. None of you guys have seen it, huh?
No,
I haven't.
I didn't. I probably could have seen it, but I didn't know what the fuck Paramount Network was.
Right.
And then I found out it used to be Spike TV.
Oh, I thought it was like Paramount, like old school, where they used to show like
Star Trek.
Yeah.
Remember when they had Paramount Channel way back when, and then they had and then they changed it to UPN.
Yeah.
And then that went away. That's crazy, man. How all these channels change back and forth, huh?
And trivia number 2, kids. How many Western podcasts will it take before Lance drops Star Trek? And the answer is Brian.
1.
Hey, I dropped a Martin. Y'all didn't hear it.
We heard it. We just kind of ignored it.
Martin! Well, that
happened a lot.
So where's Shanae?
Oh no!
We're getting off the
rails, huh?
Get back on.
Great train robbery, boys.
I'm gonna ride you out of town on a rail. That was a line I had to theater.
And that's all I have for the post today, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Cocksuckers.
This is the part where we're going to start doing feedback, but this is going to be the interactive portion of our show. Phil, you know all about that, right? From the Horror Returns?
Yes, sir.
So, put it out there, Jay. What you know how to get in touch with us. How do our listeners leave us information about Saddle Up?
You're going to go to the Horror Returns Facebook page. What else you guys have? I'm sorry.
Brian?
You can contact us at thehorrorreturns@gmail.com. We also have a Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr still, but forget about Tumblr. Contact us through.
All right.
Forget about Tumblr.
Yep.
All right. So since we don't have feedback this week, you boys ready to jump into the main attractions?
You bet.
Sir.
Got my boots on. Let's jump in.
Got our boots on and ready to hopefully not wade through some bullshit and get into something good. So our rating system, Jay, tell us about, because our listeners are used to a scale of 1 to 10, but we're going to do something a little different here, right?
We're going to do something a little different. We're gonna put the movie up on the Hangman's platform, and we're going to figure out: are we going to hang this movie, get rid of it? Are we going to pardon it so everybody can go enjoy it again and again?
All right, sounds pretty simple.
All right.
Either gonna hang them high, or we're gonna let them go loose, huh?
Yep.
You got it.
All right. Well, let's start with High Noon.
Do not forsake me, oh my darling, on this our wedding day. Do not forsake me, oh my darling.
Director was Fred Zinnemann, also known for From Here to Eternity and The Day of the Jackal. Writer Carl Foreman, also known for The Bridge on the River Kwai, as well as The Guns of Navarone. And a couple pieces of trivia: Lee Van Cleef was originally hired to play Deputy Marshal Harvey Pell. However, producer Stanley Kramer decided that his nose was too hooked, which made him look like a villain, and told him to get it fixed. Van Cleef said, "Fuck you." Lloyd Bridges got the part. Van Cleef,
and don't call me Shirley.
Van Cleef was given a smaller role of gunman Jack Colby, part of the Miller Gang.
And you know what? I noticed, I don't know if y'all noticed, he never said a word in the movie.
No, I don't think it is speaking bird.
Yeah?
I don't think he did either, no.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't this one of his first roles?
I think it probably was. It was 1954, is that right?
I think it was the first role.
Yeah, I think it was 1954. And, I recognized actually another one 52. Of Miller's gang.
Oh, yeah, 52. Actually 52. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was 52, yeah.
But my dad was, like I said, was really into the Westerns, and he also loved country music. So there was a country music singer named Sheb Woolley.
Oh, yeah.
And he was actually one of the gang also. He was one of the Miller gang. Yeah. If you look at the credits, and I recognized him right off the bat because off of my dad's old albums and stuff.
Right. Well, here's another bit of trivia, and who could blame him? Gary Cooper and Grace Kelly had an affair that lasted for the duration of filming.
Well, I sure don't blame Gary Cooper one bit.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man. Take it while you get it.
Final item here, Cooper was reluctant to film the fight scene with Bridges due to ongoing problems with his back. But he did, and without the use of a stunt double. Wow, now we know where Tom Cruise gets it from.
Yeah.
He wore no makeup to emphasize his character's anguish and fear, which was probably intensified by pain from recent surgery to remove a bleeding ulcer.
How old was he in this movie?
51.
Wow.
Had an affair.
Wow, younger than me.
Why not?
An early 20s Grace Kelly.
Well, listen, who's the hey, why not, man? I'm always telling my wife I'm going to Traitor. Never mind.
A younger
I'm gonna reply.
brother.
She may listen- She may listen to this.
Nobody's gonna blame you. Your wife and give you the pardon on that one.
All right. Well, look. Here's what I want to know. Who's the youngest? Who's the youngest here? Is it Brian?
38.
36.
Oh, Phil, you get to go first, man. Oh no, Jay.
I am 43.
Fuck. All right, Phil. We want to hear what the kid thinks of this corny old black and white 1952 movie.
Billy the Kid. I'm gonna say that
Philly the Kid. Oh, just
I think we got a new
not
nickname.
Wild Phil. Philly the Kid. It has just been established. There
damn
it
it,
is.
I fucked up.
That's awesome.
Okay, scratch Wild Phil in the show notes. Philly the Kid. All right, go on.
I actually really enjoyed it. I like what they do with some of these black and white movies. You know what I mean? It's when they have that whole Technicolor thing, it makes it look really dated. But when they go black and white and hit it hard, it looks almost high definition, and it doesn't take you out of it at all. It's like I want to compare it to like a Psycho, where everything is very clear cut and the visuals are great, even though it's black and white. You forget that it's black and white. There wasn't a ton of action, but I liked the moral compass of this whole movie. You know,
Yeah.
it's about being a man and standing up for what's right and doing what the fuck you're supposed to do, even when there's nobody behind you to support you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
I love that part of it. I just love the message of the movie. Was it the most interesting movie in the world? No, there were some times that I got maybe a little bored. Everything kind of happened in real time, though. You were waiting until high noon for the Miller, the bad guy, to get there, and in this hour that he has to figure out what the hell he's going to do when this bad guy shows up to kill him and presumably part of the town with him, you go through his anguish and his fighting that easy decision to flee, or
and when everybody's pushing him to, and everyone's pushing him to do it, so it's just not him, right?
Yeah. It's like here is the easy way out. Take it. Everybody says take it, and he says, "No, I'm a fucking man. I'm gonna do what's right. I don't
Right.
Finish
anybody
what
else."
started, right?
And he's gonna finish what he started. He should have finished what he started and to begin with.
Yep.
He should have shot his ass. Well, whatever.
Hey, Gene, what do you think, man?
I love this movie. One of the things that I noticed seeing it, I've seen it a couple times in the last year, probably. I saw it first when I was in Utah at the theater. They had a special deal where they showed it, and I saw it there for the first time. And then I watched it a couple weeks ago. I rented it from our local library. I love this movie. My dad actually didn't like this movie. I remember him telling me when I was a kid. Yeah, because he said it was boring to him. There wasn't enough action for him. And I think part of the reason he didn't like it is John Wayne didn't like it.
Yeah, I was just
There's a
about
little
to
trivia about
that.
that.
Let's speculate that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think John Wayne, I don't know all the details, but I think, and don't quote me on this, but I think part of it was it pissed him off that all of the town basically wouldn't help this character played by Gary Cooper, and they were all cowards in his opinion, and
Big old town full of
un-American. Yeah.
Now, actually, John, the reason he didn't like this because it was it had to do with back when they were blacklisting actors and writers and things like that. For folks, you guys remember that the whole McCarthy, where they were blacklisting, and this movie was basically against people who were blacklisting, and John Wayne was a big a supporter of blacklisting anybody who had any ties with communism. And this movie was kind of, shaming the people who were actually blacklisted. I think one of the screenwriters was blacklisted. Was it Carl Fordman, something like that? What was
yeah.
that guy's name?
Yeah. All right.
Yes. Yeah. And in irony, about him not liking this movie and what it represented, Gary Cooper did win the Oscar for this movie, and he was unavailable at the Oscars, but guess who accepted the award for him?
You're kidding.
John Wayne.
Wow.
No way, really? Wow.
Yeah.
John Wayne passed on this role, didn't he?
I don't know if he was asked, or maybe he didn't want anything to do with it because of the screenplay writer.
I think I heard that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I could be talking out of my ass, though.
Another thing I wanted to mention about this movie,
right?
For like 1952, the scene where he's walking down the street, that big crane shot.
Sure.
That was really impressive. I think you don't see a lot of movies that old with that good a cinematography and the way that they did it.
I was going to bring that up. The cinematography there was a couple of shots. There was one scene where the camera was on the wagon as it's rolling down the hill, and you're kind of getting it from the wagon's point of view. There was a scene where you can tell kind of the camera was on the ground, and Gary Cooper just kind of walks in front of it. So it's kind of like, it's like 1 foot on the ground, kind of looking at him, and he's already a tall guy, right? So when you see him, you just great imagery, great shots on this movie. It was just I thought that was fantastic as well.
And I thought it was really a lot of realism in the movie, because you could, on the close-ups on Gary Cooper, you could actually see the sweat running down his face.
Yeah.
And there was one point where a fly actually landed on him, and he didn't shoo it off or anything. It just kind of walked around on his cheek for a second and then flew off.
Part of the shot, huh?
Yep.
Brian, did you like this corny old movie, Brian?
This is a first-time watch for me, and I actually did. I agree with everything that Philip has said, and the whole part of him trying to get someone to help him. He's trying to deputize people. Him going from, you got the people that are Frank Miller's friends that, of course, are not going to help, and then you got the other townspeople that are just scared. I like how he just went through that journey throughout the movie. The only one thing, I kind of wanted a little bit more of a backstory between him and I don't know the actress's name, but she was
Ramirez.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to know what went wrong there, because
I was curious about that.
Yeah, because she was nice looking.
She was, yes. Katie Gerardo.
Yeah.
Actress. Yeah.
But overall, I thought the movie was again shot well. I thought it was well acted. Gary Cooper was a badass in this movie, and I had fun. I didn't know how I was going to take it, being that I never watched it and how old it is. But I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, still holds up for 52.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I think was so clever about it, and I really enjoyed this movie. It was actually a first time watch for me too, Brian.
No,
first time watch, man. I really love the way that when he was going around the town looking for help. Okay, so he went into the bar and it's a bunch of rowdies and they're all like laughing at him. Like, we're not going to help you. These are the fun boys. These are our guys, and we get in good with them, and we got this town to do whatever the hell we want to do. Rape, pillage, drink all the time. The Wild West. So you expected them to kind of give him the middle finger, but when he went into that church, and first the reverend was all like put out, like, what are you doing? We're doing service here, And he's like, I need help. And then all the people start slowly getting up one at a time. And I'm thinking, okay, finally, here we go. He's finally going to get some help. And then just like, I don't know if it was trying to make a political message about religion or people that act holier than thou but don't really come through when they need to. But they get up there, and this guy gives the most rousing speech, and then he turns and looks at him. He says, so we think you need to get the hell out of town.
Yeah, right?
Exactly.
It was a great speech, too.
Yep.
It was a
point.
Great speech. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got a wife that was, he's newly married. Obviously, she doesn't want him, staying behind and getting killed, and he's prepared to get killed. He's writing out his last will and testament and everything, and man, it's just what a great movie. I mean, I did not expect this. I knew that it had quite a reputation, but I just did not expect this level of writing. I mean, this was a really well acted, well written film from start to finish, and the soundtrack, guys, so perfect. Where you're going, "Do not forsake me, oh my darling." Mm-hmm. So many double meanings in that, and I guess the song was written specifically for the movie. But another interesting thing, if you guys listened to our Prisoner retrospective, where we talked about the TV show The Prisoner, if you guys will recall, there was an episode that was called "Do Not Forsake Me, Oh My Darling," where he was, everything. He woke up and it was all set in the Wild West. And now that I think about it, that episode has a lot that it owes to this, because he was very much a man alone when he was in the village. So that song kind of reminded me of that, and so I sort of drew that conclusion as well. Didn't you, Brian?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I like it.
Yeah, when it comes to this movie, so. And for me personally, there are certain movies that you just love the all action and all that, and they're fun and all that. For the greater westerns, I love the slow burn. I love the build up, and I think this movie is probably the cornerstone of what it is for the build up to the end. Now, was the end as exciting and action packed as you're accustomed to? Probably not. But talk about build up. Like you said, he's going from person to person, house to house, and he's trying to get people. And the scene keeps cutting back to his buddies, to Miller's buddies, at the train station, waiting for noon. You keep seeing the clock. I mean, this thing is just building up, and he finally hits the boiling point. So that slow burn, that build up. I mean, this is the top. I think this is where most movies these days get this from, and that's why this movie's so highly rated to this day.
Was this, Gene, do you think that this was maybe one of the first films that was ever filmed in like a real-time timeline like that? Can you think of an earlier one?
I can't think of anything before this. No, I think that's one of the things that it's really known for, so I think it probably brought it out into the forefront.
You know what? I'm going to bring up remake right now. So there are some movies that you just don't want to touch and you don't want them being remade, but we all know what reality is, and they're going to be remade.
Oh, yeah.
If this movie is ever remade, and you guys talk about real time, I would love for them to do what they did in Birdman.
One
continuous shot. Wouldn't that be just
continuous shot? Oh my God.
Oh.
Yeah, because it could be. It very easily
real
could
time.
Be. Yeah, they just have to adjust a couple of scenes that he wasn't in, and wow.
Hitchcock style.
Interesting.
Yes. So there's some movies that are just so dear to you, but you're like, man, if a new version did this, if the original did this, that would be so awesome.
Who would be your Marshall Kane?
Oh man, that is a.
I've got an idea.
Don't go for it. Oh, do not say that name. I know who you're thinking of.
All right, well, who are you thinking of?
Were you gonna say Dane or something?
Dane DeHaan, man.
Dane DeHaan.
Oh, hell no. He's too young for one.
Is this like an origin story of Marshall Kane?
Now, would it have to be somebody as old as him? Because I don't think he was playing that age. I think he was playing somebody a lot younger. It's just that Gary Cooper was that old. You know what? I wouldn't mind seeing Leonardo DiCaprio in this role.
That'd be good, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I wouldn't mind that at all, yeah.
I can't think of anything but Kurt Russell right now. That guy can play.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's my pick.
Yeah. And I really like, I just drew a blank. Go ahead. I forgot what I was going to say.
Would I be out of line to say The Rock?
Yes. You would.
Yeah.
Next.
Okay, I was thinking
Brad Pitt. Stand up for what's right. Because he is a fucking good guy, and that is the point of this movie.
Right.
Yeah, you got it.
All right, guys. Y'all ready to move on to scores so we can get down to the next train station?
Sure.
All right. I don't remember who went first.
Philly the Kid.
Philly the
Oh, I
Kid.
did. Yeah.
We're gonna hang him high or give him a pardon?
Man, it's been a while since I was the youngest. I'm gonna say give him a pardon.
All right.
This movie was pretty great, man. It definitely holds up. If you've never seen it, this is the first time watching me too. Also,
Good deal.
if you've never seen it, it's definitely worth the watch. It's a little slow, but given that it's basically shot in real time, I think it's worth it. And I think it's worth it just for the life lesson. And don't want to get political. There's too many things right now that tell you you don't have to be a man. Everything is okay. If you don't want to do that, that's fine.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Guy is doing the shit that is not easy. He's taking the hard route and saying, look, this is what needs to be done, and nobody else is going to do it, so I'm going to do it. And I love it. I love the message. It's being a man to the core of being a man. Right.
Gene, I think you were next, man.
Yeah, I also will give this a high pardon. I love this movie. I like it, I think, because lately I've been on a kick where I'm watching a lot of the older movies. And I never have really seen a lot of these older movies, and I'm really discovering that I really like them. It doesn't have to be fancy with all the fancy special effects and all that stuff. I'm more interested in a story, and this story to me was really, really good. So I give it a high pardon.
High pardon. All right. Brian?
I'm also going to pardon it. I thought it was well acted. The story kept me involved, and it was well shot. So I pardon it.
And Jay, were you next, or was it me?
Go ahead, Lance. I'll go last.
Yeah, I definitely give it a pardon. As Gene said, a high pardon. This was not what I was expecting. And you know what? You guys say there wasn't a lot of action in it, but I disagree. I think the build-up was just exactly right for the amount of action that you did get at the end. And man, was he a fucking badass!
Yep.
He had to take on, and I kept thinking, all right, somebody's gonna show up. Somebody's gonna show up. You know, his deputy picked the wrong day to quit sniffing glue, and he forgot to be right around the corner, you know? But nobody
Lloyd Bridges?
But you know
He's
what?
on an airplane.
Do not forsake me, oh my darling. The person that told him to get the fuck out of town and that she was going to leave him if he didn't came right back and got a good kill for him, too. So,
Yeah.
Oh, yes, she did.
Great action.
Yes,
Of course she did.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
high pardon. High pardon. Love it.
She married him for a reason.
Well,
And for me,
And a
yeah.
fucking
Oh, you mean in the movie? Sorry.
Yeah.
This is a high pardon for me. I mean, set it free. It shouldn't have even been on the stand. That's how I'm going. It's a definite. I know it's a bit slow for folks, but I think that was kind of the whole point. I think this was such a build. You know, as the tension grew and grew and grew. It's going to start off slow, and then you're going to have your final climax at the end. It's funny. The only one who actually stood with him was a 14-year-old kid.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And he had he had the sense that he knew he was probably going to die. So he said, you know, kid, no, you need to go do your thing. Everybody here is a man. And, you know, even his old friend, the old sheriff, didn't want to help. And as a tie-in to the Horror Returns, you guys better know who that was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Talking about Lon Chaney?
Lon Chaney. If you don't know who Lon Chaney is and you're into horror movies, shame on you. But yeah, great acting, great writing, just a lot of good things about this movie. I can't praise it high enough.
All right. Well, there you go. So we'll move on to our last one. I think Brian has to hit the dusty trail. So after the trivia, we're going to let him go first if you guys are okay.
Oh,
with
no.
Yep.
That's fine.
Okay,
Knock it out.
All right. So Bone Tomahawk.
Here we go. Oh man, you gotta watch
York City. He's never heard of Conway Twitty. Don't know nothing about grits and greens. Never been south of Queens. But he flew down here on a business trip. I took him honky-tonkin' and that was it. He took to it like a pig to mud, like a cow to cud. We all got a hillbilly bone down deep inside. No matter where you're from, you just can't hide it when the fans...
Director and writer was S. Craig Zoller. If that name sounds familiar, it should. He's also known for Brawl and Cell Block 99 and Puppet Master The Littlest Reich.
This guy's my new favorite director.
You know what? He's up there, man. Shot in 21 days with a budget of $1.8 million.
Wow.
And get this, S. Craig Zoller is a novelist, and I think I need to start reading some of his books now. Because this trivia says, after reading S. Craig Zoller's second novel, called Wraiths of the Broken Land, Kurt Russell stated that Zoller is a fabulous storyteller whose style catapults his reader into the turn-of-the-century West with a ferocious sense of authenticity. And that phrase made it onto the back cover of the book. Now, this would have been a different movie. When the movie was officially announced in 2012, Peter Sarsgaard and Jennifer Carpenter were set to play the O'Dwyers, while Timothy Oliphant was going to play John Bruder. I'm kind of glad it turned out the way it did, I think, though.
I did, too, but I can easily see Timmy Oliphant in that role. I think he could have done just as good a job, but it was excellent. You just said $1.8 million. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many...
Just to cover the fucking salary.
Did you see all the people who are in this movie? That is crazy. Yeah. So that goes to how great this script was and how much they felt the writer and the director. I mean, it's just... And we're probably showing our hand right now, but it goes into, you know, how much these people want to do that and how much they, I guess, trusted the script and where it was going. So that's crazy to me. $2 million with all these names.
Yeah, I actually heard that.
He could have sucked up that whole budget right there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and then some, right?
Just on the meeting to see if he wanted to do it. You know, pay me $2 million to read your script, and I'll tell you if I want it or not.
Well, Brian, what are you thinking, man?
All right, I'm gonna give my rating off top. This movie is a full pardon. Pardon this movie and buy it a drink, because I love this movie. Kurt Russell is a badass in everything he does. I feel like he is required from now on to have that mustache in every movie he's in.
I wish he would.
I love the cast in this. Patrick Wilson, Matthew Fox, Richard Jenkins as Chicory.
Oh wow!
I don't know what it was, but even that little story he told about the flea circus. I just loved him in this. I loved him in this movie.
He was a Step Brothers. This is the guy from Step Brothers.
We've come full circle. Lily Simmons. I praised her before for being on Banshee. If anybody hasn't seen her on Banshee, check it out. She is hot as shit on there.
And naked.
Yes, very naked, a lot. And then there's other people that I don't even think people even realize that are in this movie, like Sid Haig, David Arquette. Sean Young shows up for like 2 minutes.
He did. The principal from Back to the Future. I don't know if you guys recognize him. He was the piano player.
Yes.
What?
Which,
I didn't notice that.
After you pay for your songs, you're required to buy him a whiskey.
Buy him a drink.
What conversation.
That was great.
Wow.
But this movie is brutal, graphic, and it's just I don't really know what to say. I'm kind of out of time here. I love this movie. I am starting to be a fan of the director because what I've seen after this, I'm also a fan of, and a full pardon on this movie.
All right. Well, listen. Good luck on safe travels on your journeys, man. And let me give you a couple things here since you're heading out. Here's a bottle of whiskey.
Thank you.
Use it well. And
I will.
I'm also going to give you a little bit of this tincture of opium. Now, be very careful with it.
Don't
Thank
take it
you,
all
sir.
at once.
Thank you, sir. Gene, it was nice
Yes.
to meet you.
You too.
Everybody check out Gene Reviews on YouTube. And Jay, it's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, sir.
And I will talk to you other guys later.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Take care, Brian.
All right, later.
Hold my hand in the air for you as you walk off.
As
Thank
he
you.
rides into the sunset.
Yep.
This stuff.
All right.
All right, later.
Who's next?
I'll go if you don't mind.
Sure.
Oh man, as hard as it is to pick a favorite character in this movie because there's just so many.
Kind of like Tombstone.
Richard Jenkins. Oh
Yeah?
my God, did he just kill it? I mean, just
He's
the quirkiness of this character. I mean, it's a serious movie, and he was the comic relief, but not over the top. Just a quirk. This when they're laying down, he's like, "You ever read while you're taking a bath?" And you're just like, "What the shit?"
I thought the first time I saw him, I thought he was going to be annoying as fuck.
Right.
And then
Oh,
he just
my
kept
God.
going, and it was great.
And he was the best part of the movie, and that's saying a lot because there is so much. I love Matthew Fox in this. He was perfect as this cocky asshole, but he walked the talk. Whatever he said, he was there. He was on. Yeah, he was on it. You know, man. He thought he was better and smarter than everybody, but guess what? He kind of was.
Right.
Ain't been something without him.
Yeah, my daughters are a huge Lost fan, right? They love Lost, and they love Matthew Fox. And the one thing about Lost is they say that he always cries. So when I was telling about the movie, does he cry in this movie? I'm like, yeah, he does. He cries. So Matthew Fox is known for crying in everything he does, but anything else, and for good reason. And we probably don't want to go into detail on that. I don't know if we're going to do spoilers or anything.
Oh
but,
yeah, anything here
just-
I think we can spoil, unless it's
just
something
an
that's
ex-
in the theater.
Yeah, just so they kill his horse, and he was that was his thing. I love slow burns. This was sort of one of those strong slow burns.
Oh, yeah.
You got the action where you needed it. There are some movies that they have a meaning, like High Noon. There's the bad guys coming back into town, and this guy's got to do this, and he's got to get it after it. And there is that meaning, there is that goal. Some of those stories you like were just shit happens, and there is no point to it. Shit happens, and your characters are reacting to it, and that's what this movie was. They have no idea what's going on. They just know a couple of people were taken and all that, and you're just going along with them. You know what's coming at the end of High Noon. You know what's going to take place. Here, you're with the characters. You're like, I have no idea what's going on. We're in the same shit as you. I'm with you, Kurt Russell. I'm with you, Patrick Wilson. Let's figure out what we're going to do, and let's get after it. It's such a great movie. High on the top of my list of westerns of all time.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was very surprised when the credits came up, quite frankly, because going into the movie, it's one of those movies that I knew my wife would watch with me, because little did she know it is kind of a horror in a way. In certain parts, but,
it is.
Yeah.
In any case, I was able to get her into it, and she fucking loved it too, and that's always a good sign. But at the beginning, I was like, now it's over 2 hours. It's like 2 hours and 12 minutes. So I said, we're going to be here a little while. She said, that's all right. Let's watch it. Let's check it out. And when the credits came up, guys, I had seen it once before, but I did not remember. I thought the movie was going to go on another hour. I thought there was no way that was 2 hours and 12 minutes.
I know. It goes by so fast. I mean, you're just so engrossed into it, into each of these characters. I mean, not a bad role, not a bad part. I cannot find anything wrong with this movie. I really can't.
I can't either.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will definitely go if you guys will let me. This
Go for it.
is a fucking masterpiece.
Wow. Strong
You don't
words,
have to
man.
pardon this one. This is The Executioner right here. I think this is on my top 10 movies of all time.
Are you
Not
serious? Was this a
Yeah.
first watch or?
No, it's a second watch.
Okay.
I remember watching it the first time, and I thought it was great, but I didn't really give much extra thought to it. I watched it for the show and really tried to analyze it. This is a work of art, man. The dialogue is amazing. Every scene is great. The brutalness of everything that they do, because it does turn into a horror movie with these. It's like The Hills Have Eyes, but like Indians. Yeah, and it's crazy. And they run into that crazy from a legit like Tombstone style Western, you know?
Yes, yes.
And it's everything they do in this movie blows my mind. There's like no music in the whole thing. And so all the little jump scares that would happen in a horror movie are happening without music. So you don't know that they're coming. They're like, can we get into spoilers? You want to do that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
May keep it light. I mean, how do you guys want to do this?
Yeah, I'll keep
work in progress.
I'll keep it a little light because if you haven't seen this, you need to go fucking watch it now. It is a classic movie. When they first run into the troglodytes, the bad Indian cave dweller inbred people, they're in their little party and they've got like a lookout, and they just come out of fucking nowhere. They're like ninjas. And suddenly your main characters that you've been watching this entire time are dying. Like, for real dying. The shit is going down.
Yeah, it didn't take long, did it?
Yeah, you're feeling it with them, you know? And I don't know, man. I think that the acting was outstanding. This is what The Hateful Eight should have been. This is what Quentin Tarantino wishes he could have done.
Oh,
this guy. I'm not joking, dude. This guy. Keep an eye on this dude. He's got this one under his belt. Brawl in Cell Block 99. Great. The Littlest Reich, which was...
I love The Littlest Reich, man.
Yeah. Dude, it was totally underrated. All three of these movies flew completely under the radar. He's got a new one coming out. It's called Dragged Across Concrete. And it's got a hell of a cast on it. It's Mel Gibson and Jennifer Carpenter and Vince Vaughn.
Oh, I don't even know what it's about, and I'm in.
I know. I'm so ready to go watch this because as soon as I realized that this guy was the same dude that did Brawl in Cell Block 99, and it's the same dude that did The Littlest Reich. He's my new favorite director. Keep an eye on him.
Absolutely.
He's going to be the new Quentin Tarantino.
I'm going to watch Brawl in Cell Block 99 tonight, I think, because it's streaming on Amazon, I noticed.
You haven't seen it before, Gene?
No.
Streaming on Amazon.
Yeah, you owe it to yourself.
At Amazon Prime, you can watch them for free.
Do you, Gene? Do you like 80s action movies?
Oh, yeah, you bet.
You'll love it.
Yeah, cool.
Great movie. Some of the special effects, I think, they're all practical effects.
Yep.
Some of them, you can tell they're like rubber people or puppets or whatever. But I think that kind of adds to the artistry, the same way that taking all the music out does. I can't say enough good things about this movie. It has one of the most brutal kills that I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about there.
Oh, yeah.
Splitting.
And these fucking monsters, they like... The sound that they make is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, the whistling, yeah.
The writing is so on point. Everything is... there's not a dull moment. Even though there are slow moments, there's not a dull moment. It is great. Yeah, this is top 10 all-time movies ever. 10 out of 10. Pardon it.
Yeah, it's...
nice.
Go ahead.
Tear down the goddamn stand.
All right, Gene, you're up, man.
Okay, I gotta say, I loved this movie too. I was shocked in a few places, I will admit that. Matthew Fox was way better than I expected him to be when I saw him in this movie.
Better than he had the right to be, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Kurt Russell and Richard Jenkins were both the standouts, though, in my opinion.
I agree.
like said like Phil was saying, the script was fantastic. It's definitely one of the most brutal movies I've ever seen. Like I was saying, the scene where they split that guy. All I could say is, oh my God.
Right.
Yeah.
But I cared about all of the characters. My favorite character, I think, in the movie was Richard Jenkins.
Okay.
I love how he played the kind of mentally slow but lovable character, because it was really understated. I feel like a less experienced actor could have went way over the top with that part.
Yeah.
And
well,
he
him and
was
Matthew
so
Fox,
real.
I both kind of hated at the beginning. And then as the movie went on, I was like, man, these guys are great.
Yeah. They both were great, the whole movie. There's one line, I gotta say this, my favorite line of the whole movie is when Kurt Russell says, "Say goodbye to my wife and I'll say hello to yours."
Oh, I love that.
I thought that was just awesome.
Yeah,
that was
great.
just awesome.
Just a sample of the great lines that are in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And that was more of a goodbye to him, to Chicory. He was saying goodbye to his friend, and he was like, and the moral compass. We talked about the moral compass. Phil, you talked a lot about the moral compass of Gary Cooper in the High Noon earlier, and that's basically what you get on all of these guys. I mean, Chicory was probably more into that, always had to do the right thing and wanted to do the right thing. I think he kind of channeled that, Marshall Kane a lot. But, you had Matthew Fox, Bruder, he had an obligation. He's like, hey, I'm the one that went and fetched your wife. She's in this mess because of me. So he has an obligation to go find her. The sheriff has an obligation to go find her. The husband has an obligation to his wife, even though he can't walk. And I don't know if we mentioned that Patrick Wilson, the husband of the woman taken, he had broken his ankle or something like that, and he could barely walk, and he was like, nope, I got to go get my wife. And it's just the moral compass of every character on here. And going back to the bad guys as well, what I really liked about them, it wasn't like they were the sinister, they have a mission, like kind of like they're twisting their mustache evil type thing. They were monsters in the eyes of us and all that, but they were just doing their thing, They were, even though we don't understand it and it's horrible, but it was their own thing, and it was no, you know what I mean, no malice intent.
For sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It just didn't clash with us. I say us, and I'm riding along with with Kurt Russell and everybody and all that. So it was great to have that that type of bad guy.
It's just kind of the sign of the times, that times were rough back then. Would probably be hard not to, hard to stay on the straight and narrow. You got to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, Matthew Fox, man, that was what he was about. Look, fuck the morals. I'm surviving.
Yep.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
So now these troglodytes, though, and they had all the little abnormalities, we'll say.
Mm-hmm.
Are these things that were done to them when they were little?
I would say,
right? I would say, yeah.
Maybe it was a rite of passage when they hit a certain age or something like that.
Exactly.
And they were able to go out and hunt. I guess they used that to call each other, and I don't know. There's
shit implanted in their throat.
Well, listen, hey, Phil, you know how much I bitch a lot about movies being too long, right? Like, I just wish they'd cut out 30 minutes. I just wish they'd cut out 15. 2 hour and 12-minute movie here. The only complaint I've got of the entire movie is that it's not long enough. Because I wanted Bruder's backstory. I wanted to know where he came from. I wanted to know where he learned to be such a badass. I wanted the backstory between the love triangle there. I actually wanted more. And like I said, when the credits came up, I was a little disappointed. Like, that's it? There's got to be a denouement, like a final scene here. But that would be the only complaint I'd have about this movie. I wanted more.
And that's a good complaint.
Yeah. But I think that the way that he did it, when I say that it's a masterpiece, I mean it. And I think that if he had done it any differently, I don't think it would have had the same effect.
Well, fair enough.
Yep, and I give it a definite pardon. I pardon it.
Oh, I think we've pardoned all around
Yeah.
all around the table here. Oh man, well one week we'll pick or one of these shows we'll pick a shitty movie, I guess, but it wasn't this one, guys.
No.
Yeah.
No,
This is going to end up on my top 10 all-time favorite horror movies.
I think
So,
it will mine too.
Wow.
Watch the list by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, easily can fall into that horror list. Easily.
True.
Yep.
Were there really troglodytes like this? I'm sure there were.
Good
I mean,
question.
yeah, I mean
there's
the cave dwellers and everything.
There's the cannibals like in the Pacific Islands and stuff like that for sure, right?
Right.
To this day.
Yeah.
But this was like 1890s or early, maybe 1900, because I noticed on
Right.
the gravestone of Richard Jenkins' wife, it said she died in 1891.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
It's weird that
And
in
they
the
talk-
United States, I don't know, maybe not back then though, but that they'd have people like that, that uncivilized.
Yeah.
So what about the pregnant chicks at the end? Can we talk about that?
Yes.
Are they? I mean, because I assume that they were probably planning on doing the same thing to the doctor chick, right?
That's a good bet. Yeah.
Good
That's
question.
a good bet.
Are they not going to put them out of their misery? They're just we'll leave them with sticks poking out of their eyes and no arms or legs.
Crazy.
I don't know.
So
Yeah.
they just fucking starve to death.
I guess. I mean, what could they do? I mean, they were barely getting out of there themselves. I mean, hell,
Hit them in the head with the bone tomahawk.
yeah, put him out of the riz, I guess. Yeah.
One
Baby
question I
inside?
had. One question I had. When they first got Kurt Russell and they put that bone in his mouth and then smacked it, how did that not fucking kill him right there?
I don't know. Yeah, what was that all about? Were they trying to
Yeah.
get teeth out, or were they inserting that? I don't know.
I
had that
maybe that
thought.
guy was trying to kill him, and then the other guy comes and just knocks him out. So they're like, okay, let's just drag him. Or
I think
something.
that's what it was designed for. There's, so if you're fighting and you the sweet spot is right underneath the ear, hitting that jawbone, so that it pops out of place. And if it pops out of place, you go unconscious immediately.
Okay.
So I assume that maybe that's what that bone is meant for. To
Okay.
go in there, pop that jaw out of place, which is why they hit it. And it just
Oh,
knocks-
okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
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 It's just a different way of popping your jawbone out of socket.
We need more, don't we? We need
Yeah.
a sequel.
Yeah.
At the very least.
I'd totally watch a sequel. I want to see the origin story of the troglodytes, man.
Well, and were they the only ones? Are they all dead now, or are there other pockets in other caves? You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah,
It
good
the
call.
makes
professor
sense.
knew.
There's only like 12 of them, you know?
Right.
And they just live as these fucking animal predators.
Yeah, even the
Which-
normal Native Americans were scared of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you still got the ambiguous ending. You really don't know what
Sure.
happened. You know, he said, "Hey, there's about 3 left," and you hear 3 shots, but you don't know what all those shots meant.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's true too.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we have. I'm looking at our stats here, guys. We have officially picked up our first listener from Colombia. It looks like.
All right.
So,
Hola.
Looks like they're going back and down. Somebody's going back and downloading a lot of back episodes. So cool. Well, we hope you like westerns too. Whoever's listening from Colombia.
If you don't, you will now. Watch Bone Tomahawk. That'll introduce your ass to westerns real quick.
Any parting words on this one, guys, or is that a wrap?
I think it's. I mean, enough's been said about it. I mean, I don't know if any more can be said.
I can't say enough parting words. This fucking movie was incredible. It is one of my favorites ever, period. Up there with The Exorcist.
Well, we
wow.
can't. Jeez. Woo! We can't say enough about this one, can we?
Great
No,
movie,
sir.
man.
Well, if it had been,
1.8 million. Wow.
yeah, if this had been released this year, Phil, I think it's safe to say it would have been on your top 5. at the end
Oh
of the
yeah,
show?
I'm thinking about it, and I think that it should have won some awards, man. I can't believe that The Revenant got all this
Oh,
attention.
yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Hateful
Revenant
Eight
was a good movie.
got all that attention the same fucking year,
Right.
and Bone Tomahawk got jacked. This movie was better than both of those.
Wow.
The good thing is, though, it got this director some more stuff.
Yeah.
So
but
he's out there now.
None of his stuff is everything so far that he's done has been under the radar, but it's great.
Mhm.
Like, watch this guy. I can only hope that he pulls in some big budget stuff and they let him do his thing.
Right.
You know, like don't go Marvel movie.
Oh
So-
no, please don't. You know they're coming to him with an offer. You know they already have. It's
I'm sure. But man, if he can do his own thing and keep his creative like, because he wrote these movies also.
Mhm.
He's writer and director, and if he can just do what he does, like Tarantino does what he does, he's gonna follow in his path. And I'm not worried about Tarantino retiring anymore.
Well, I'm actually checking out his bibliography right now to see what all he's written, and he's definitely not just strictly a westerns guy. It looks like some sci-fi in here, some straight up horror in here. Man, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to go find some of his books, guys, and do some reading here.
Definitely a guy to watch out for.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell he's a good writer. Look at the dialogue in this one.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, shoot, we could probably talk another hour about it, but we don't want to make the show too long, so
Nope.
I think at this point we're getting ready to say see you guys. I guess happy trails. See you down the road. But before we do that, I guess a little talk about what our plans are from here. So. You, Gene, Jay, you two are, y'all are the sheriffs here. We're just me and Phil are either the town drunks locked in your jail, or
the backup deputy.
Hopefully we
can be the backup
hopefully,
deputy.
Hopefully
Yeah.
we can be
I'm the
deputized.
backup deputy. I'm trying to eat some soup, but it's too goddamn hot.
Such a great character.
So
Oh,
episode number 2. I guess you guys want to try to shoot for about this time of month again. Next
Sure,
month.
that'd
Yeah.
be great for me.
Yeah, definitely.
And what are we going to be covering, boys?
Okay, this
I
is
think we're. I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead.
Go ahead, Gene. Go ahead, Gene.
well, this is my first podcast, so I'm not really sure on what to do next. But should we do another old one and then a new one also?
I think I like to kind of keep in that same motive that we're doing, that the Horror Returns is doing. You want to do a classic and you want to do a recent. You want to try to do a couple that kind of tie in. One that I think I have on my list that I really like to do is the True Grits. You got the original and you got the new one, and those are definitely good ones to discuss. I don't know if it's going to be all hands across the board like it was today, and we're probably going to get some good dialogue out of that show.
Yeah, I'm with that. I'm with that.
All right.
Whenever you're willing to have me.
All right. October's going to be the original True Grit and the remake, then, huh?
And the
Yep.
remake, yeah.
All right.
John Wayne and Jeff Bridges.
All right. Sounds good. And guess what? I've never seen the original.
Really?
Yep. So here we go. This should be interesting.
It definitely will be interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we definitely want to thank all of our listeners for hanging around for this first episode of Saddle Up. Plans again, bring you the show once a month. Let us know how we're doing through the at least for now, the Horror Returns Facebook page or the group page. Send us emails for the time being. We may set up a second email folder, but for now, if you would just send them to thehorrorreturns@gmail.com. And definitely, oh, there we go.
Get along, little doggy.
All right.
Yeah.
Or if you want to send us a mail via Pony Express, we'll get back to you in May.
There you go.
Of 2019.
All right. And yeah, leave us an iTunes review. And if you want, you can specify that the review is for Saddle Up, and we're happy to hear it. So I guess until we ride off into that sunset again, Jay, what are we going to say at the end of this show?
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Yeah, there you go.
Last night I dug your picture out from our old dresser drawer. I set it on the table and I talked to it till 4. I read some old love letters